Hi, I'm Peter J. Shield. Welcome to my special guest, and what a privilege it is. A gentleman I met, a considerable number of years ago as I traveled around the world, and he did also. The amazing Geoff Hobson. Geoff, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you. This is a pleasure. This is groundbreaking. I mean, really, I didn't really know exactly what to expect when I came here. I didn't realize this went all around the world.
Absolutely.
So this is wonderful. Well, hello and hello, Wiedersehen, and everything else, whatever languages you say all around the world. This is wonderful.
There you go. You can show off your bilingual skills.
Yeah.
Geoff, you've been around magic for many, many years, as I have, and it's your life, of course. I gave it up a few years ago and moved on to other fields, but I've been privileged to be able to see you perform in Australia as well as here. Tell us a little bit about the Geoff Hobson story. Where did it all begin for you, Geoff?
Well, I was born at a very young age.
I see, yes.
And I started magic when I was about 7. I saw a magician, as most children have when they get into magic. You probably started when you were a child,
Mine was
too.
Harry Blackstone.
Well, there you go. And
the senior, by the way.
Yes. And so I saw a magician, and he was a safety magician, came to our school. And he was one of those police officers.
Oh, really?
And he was a real police officer, and he said, oh, here's a green ball, that means go, and a yellow ball means caution, and the red ball stands for stop, and then they magically change places, and the kids go, no, that's not right, that's wrong. Oh. Anyways, after he was all through with the show, I looked at all my schoolmates. I said, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I go, how did that happen? I didn't know. And so ever since that day, I knew for the rest of my life that I was going to do what I do today, and that's magic and comedy and entertaining people.
Right.
That was it, yeah. So it started there, and was in just about every play, stage production I could get my hands on ever since I was a child, all the way up through high school. And when I was about 16 years old, actually when I was about 12 years old was my first paying gig, as they say. And I got, I think, $25. And that was big money, $25.
Absolutely.
And did shows ever since I was 12, and I was performing since then. When I was 18, instead of going to college, as many people recommended, I said, no, I'm making more money doing the shows as a teenager than my father was bringing home as a tool and die maker. And so I said, you know, it's about time to forget the college and go into this full time, and I never looked back, and I've never been happier. I had a great life so far.
What part of the world was that, Geoff? Where were you born?
I was born in Detroit, Michigan. Here, let's see. Do we have it on this little thing? wait. Here's Detroit. Wait a second. Here, and where are you from? Australia, right?
Australia. Look farther away.
Well, look at Australia's right there. Detroit's right there. Look, small world, isn't it?
Absolutely.
See, small world. It's a joke.
I got that.
Yeah, sorry.
Very good. You've been to the Magic Castle, obviously.
Yes.
Geoff, when did you move this way? When did you get out of Detroit?
I escaped from Detroit at about the age of, I was 28 years old. And I moved, which I thought that I had to do, as everyone did. You have to move to Los Angeles or Hollywood. Right. Try and make it, do whatever you can. And I just realized that wasn't for me. I'm not the type of person to schmooze too much and try and relate to the Hollywood folk. I just never quite met it. That it was a little difficult for me. And while I enjoyed it, it was fun, and I had a lot of fun, but I always traveled outside of Hollywood to do my work. And one day I came to Vegas in, I think it was 88, 89.
Right.
And
just before we met?
Before we met. And I appeared at the Magic Castle, and from the Magic Castle I appeared at Catch a Rising Star.
Oh, gotcha.
When it was at Bally's in Las Vegas.
Right, I remember.
That was when it was a nice big theater in the seats, and I auditioned there one day. I auditioned there, and the lady says, "Good, you're booked. Come on in." And I said, "That's it? I'm booked? That's wonderful." And so ever since that first booking in Las Vegas, I did 2 years, basically on and off, doing a week here, another few months, another week, and eventually I moved up from an opening act to a middle act, and eventually to a headline act.
Right.
And that's when I got the offer to be in Spellbound in Las Vegas in 1992.
That was the first time I saw you. Yes, I came here in 91, 92.
Right.
And you'd opened in Spellbound at Harris.
At Harris, and that was a fun run. And I was there for 4.5 years. The whole show changed 2 years into it, and the executives at Harris said, "Well, we like the show to change, but we want to keep Geoff. which I was very flattered. So I stayed there for another 2.5 years. And so it was a great run, and ever since then I moved from Detroit, then it was L.A., back to Detroit, and then finally to Las Vegas. So and I traveled quite a bit. When we met, we was in Australia.
Absolutely.
And I was at the Melbourne Hilton, and I was working downstairs in the studio. It was about 450 people, and after a few weeks, I had quite a following.
Absolutely.
After there, they wanted me to stay, I guess, but I couldn't. So
well, your type of act appeals to the warped sense of humor.
Yes, thank you very much.
Of the average Australian, and it was a lot of fun. I remember I had the privilege of bringing in a gentleman called Keith Ryle, King Keith, who runs Cryle Castle in Ballarat, if Keith's watching. But Keith was incredibly impressed, and they loved everything they saw. And of course, at that time, you were unmarried, I believe. You had a lady who was with you, if I remember correctly, you were perhaps engaged at that time?
Yes.
Your present wife?
Yes.
Has she been with you on that tour?
No, that was a girlfriend I had there.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I mentioned that.
Did you leave that?
Zip. But which is amusing, because most people who are familiar with your act, as our magic fraternity is, of course, around the world, you won so many awards and done so much over the years, will know that the basis of your act, of course, is the impersonation of a semi-gay. Is
well,
that
what
way,
it is?
how would you
No.
phrase
This is the
that?
way it is. It's sexually ambiguous character.
Oh.
That's the way you say it now. Sexually ambiguous.
Oh, is that the
I
correct-
say, more or less, it's you never know whether I am or I'm not, because I never try to.
Politically correct, right.
Yeah, it's that's the way you say it. So, and I have a good time. Matter of fact, that's why I wore this shirt. Do you like this shirt?
Yeah,
I
very
got
nice.
this from Boys R Us. It's very nice. It's I got it right next to men's underwear, half off. I had to go. But then I say in my show, I'm not. I could be, but I'm not anymore. I was talking to my wife. I said, Chuck.
Yeah.
And that's where the show starts, folks. And you never know. I hope I keep you guessing.
And it's all downhill from there.
It's downhill from there, yeah.
No, it is a fabulous show.
But we're in the Money and Madness show now. I moved on to a little gimmick, and we're just throwing money at people. I do my show, Comedy Magic Fun, and then for no apparent reason, I just throw money at people, and nobody's ever done it before. So I'm the only act that pays my audience to be there.
Right.
That's it. So the moniker is it pays to see me, and it really does. People walk out with handfuls of cash, sometimes more than what they paid in to get to see the show.
And we're going to deal with that in the second in our second segment. I want to talk a little bit more specifically about that show and what you do. But just to set the record straight, you're now a very happily married man with some beautiful children.
Yes, thank you.
How many?
Thank you. I have 3 children, one of each.
Right.
And it's a little girl and a boy and a girl, 5, 7, 9. They're all odd, just like their dad.
And their names?
It is
Because they're all going to be watching.
Yes, Autumn, Ian, and Avalon.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful names.
Yes.
And you live here in Las Vegas, of course, and travel out of Las Vegas when you travel.
Yes.
How long is your engagement at the Excalibur?
It's indefinite right now. Right now, we just started in February. We're going, the contract goes to the end of summer, but we're going to talk about renewal probably in about another 6 to 8 weeks. And if the renewal happens, will be for another good long-term year or more.
Excellent. Well, you've been long overdue for your show, Geoff, here, and I was at it the other night, as you know, and loved every minute of it. So we're going to take a quick little commercial break about now, and then we'll come back and talk to Geoff about Money and Madness at the Excalibur.
Come on down.
We'll be right back.